Hey guys, Joe Sidoti here. Thanks for stopping by for another video. You know, I don't know if a lot of you know this, but not only am I a studio engineer, recording engineer, but I'm also a live front of house engineer and have been for years. And I've toured the world actually as a live engineer. And so this video today is going to be talking about what are some of the differences that I've noticed between being a studio engineer and a live engineer. Let's talk about it. All right, so traveling the world, one thing that I noticed as a front of house engineer is the things that I brought to the table that I learned in the studio. And then there's also been some things over the years that I've done in the studio that I learned from the live situation. And so I just kind of wanted to point some of those things out, some of the differences between live and studio recording, and some of the things that I've noticed, and hopefully these things can maybe be things that you can implement into your thought process. So one of the first things that I noticed being in the studio was that everything is under a microscope, right? I mean, you are in a controlled environment for the most part. You are listening to this one mic on this one thing, whether it be a snare drum or a guitar. You can hear every nuance of that thing. And so what it does is it makes you really fine-tuned. So if it's like a drum, you're really listening to the overtones and you're tuning the head. Or if it's a guitar, you're not really quite sure if you like the way it sounds. So maybe you try a different mic, or maybe you move the mic 1 inch to the left or 2 inches to the right, on axis or off axis. Those subtle changes make a huge difference in what you're capturing. So when you apply that kind of mindset live, then I think what you're gonna find is that you're gonna set yourself apart from other live engineers, because sad to say, most live engineers that I've seen, that I've been around, they really start to get relaxed and they just kind of stop caring about the tiny nuances, because they go, you know what? The PA is going to be so loud, the crowd's going to be, you know, screaming. Does it really matter? You know, that's kind of the mindset that you end up getting into when you stop caring. But if you take some of that mindset from the studio of, if I just try moving this mic 1 inch, will it fix it? And that's what's so important, right? Is fixing things at the source. Look, it's easy to do, and sometimes you have to, on a live setting, to just turn some knobs, crank it, do whatever it takes to get it right, okay? And I'm a big fan of that. But when you have the time, when the situation allows, you should always be trying your best to fix it at the source. If a female vocal is too bright and shrill, try a different mic, try a different capsule. If the snare drum doesn't sound right the way you're hearing it in your head, tune it. Try different sticks, try a different mic, that type of stuff. So that's kind of the first thing that I think is something that I learned in the studio that I could really apply live. Is that okay? The next is something that I learned live that I think can really help you in the studio. And it's this. Let's say you've done a sound check and everything sounds good, but then the doors open, the audience comes in, and the band starts playing and the singer starts singing, and they are completely blowing you out of the water from where they were during sound check. So now your mix has fallen apart almost instantly. And you're just struggling to regain your mix, to get things to balance right. And so quickly, like in the first song, you know, maybe the first half, you're just going nuts trying to get that mix back together. And that skill alone is huge. That skill helps you to get a mix together quickly. It's as if you're saying, there is no option, I can't press stop, and the audience is listening, literally like live on the radio. I'm putting this together. That's a great skill. But what it does also on top of just that is it gives you the experience and the muscle memory of knowing what happens when you turn this knob. Is this gonna fix the problem or not? Is this gonna make it worse? What is the quickest path that I can take to get this mix together quickly? And I promise you live, it's not, well, I'm just gonna start patching some outboard gear and some EQs and no. You're gonna start moving faders, adjusting pans, adjusting gain, and a little bit of EQ, probably a lot of high pass filter. And those are gonna be the easiest, quickest steps to get your live mix together quickly. And if you use that mindset in the studio and say, all right, I need to put this mix together as quickly as possible. And I'm not gonna insert a bunch of gear, right? That's plugins in the digital world. I'm gonna just pretend that by the end of this song, I have to have this mixed together because the audience is listening. And I think if you take that approach in the studio, that you're gonna become a better engineer. And I think if you're a live engineer and you don't forget to fix it at the source, don't get relaxed about not caring because who's really gonna notice? All the little things add up to make a big difference. So that's it. That's what I think are some of the comparisons and what I've learned over the years in live versus studio. I hope that helps. If it did, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought about this video. Let me know if you're interested in more content about live engineering. I know mostly we do studio engineering, but because I do both, let me know if that's something that you're interested in. I'd love to hear your comments. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video. If you like this video, then click that like button, I appreciate it, and subscribe to the channel and help support Sidoti Sound, and click that bell if you want to be notified when I release new videos. And of course, you can find me on all sorts of social media, so be sure to check that out. If you'd like to work with me on an upcoming project, then make sure to visit SidotiSound.com for more information. All right, guys, thanks a lot.